Imagine a smartphone chip with clocking speeds that were once reserved for gaming desktops. That's the kind of future Qualcomm is quietly inching toward, and the latest rumor makes it clear things are about to get wild. Word out of China suggests that Qualcomm isn't just cooking one version of its next flagship processor, but two. And the higher-end one? It might be flirting with clock speeds so high they almost sound unreal for a phone. According to a fresh Weibo post from trusted tipster Fixed Focus Digital, early testing of Qualcomm's upcoming flagship silicon has already touched the 5 GHz mark. Let that sink in. 5 GHz on a mobile chip, and that's not even the supposed ceiling. The same source claims Qualcomm's engineers are exploring a maximum range somewhere between 5.5 GHz and an eye-watering 6 GHz, although a more realistic and achievable target is said to be around 5.5 GHz. Even that number alone would completely rewrite what we expect from smartphone performance. While the tipster doesn't directly name it, all signs point toward the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro, a rumored higher-tier variant sitting above the standard Gen 6. Qualcomm has done this kind of split before, but this time the difference could be dramatic. We're not just talking about slightly higher clocks or better binning. We're talking about a mobile SoC pushing into territory that was once strictly off-limits due to heat, power, and physics. So how does Qualcomm plan to pull this off without turning phones into pocket-sized heaters? That's where things get really interesting. The report claims this leap in frequency is being enabled by HBP, or Heat Pass Block technology. This is a thermal solution originally developed by Samsung for its upcoming Exynos 2600 chip. Instead of relying only on external cooling methods, like vapor chambers, HBP integrates a heatsink directly into the chip package itself. In simple terms, heat has a much shorter and more efficient path to escape, which allows the silicon to run harder without immediately throttling. This is a big deal because clock speed isn't usually limited by what the silicon can do in short bursts. It's limited by how quickly heat builds up. If HBP really works as described, it could give Qualcomm precious extra headroom, especially for short, intense workloads like gaming, AI tasks, and heavy multitasking. Then there's the manufacturing process, which may be just as important as the cooling. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 family is widely expected to move to TSMC's cutting-edge 2nm N2P process. Smaller nodes don't just mean better efficiency, they also allow transistors to switch faster. That naturally opens the door to higher peak clock speeds while keeping power consumption in check, at least compared to older nodes. To put this into perspective, the current Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 already pushes core performance to around 4.61 GHz, with whispers of slightly higher clocks for select Galaxy-exclusive variants. Breaking past 5 GHz would be a symbolic and technical milestone for smartphones, even if those speeds are only sustainable in short bursts, and realistically, they probably will be. Thermal limits in a thin smartphone chassis don't magically disappear overnight. But here's the key thing. Qualcomm is already comfortable throwing around 5 GHz class numbers. On the PC side, chips like the Snapdragon X2 Elite Extreme are openly marketed with frequencies that high. Bringing that same bragging rights energy to smartphones feels like the next logical move, especially as phones take on heavier AI workloads and increasingly blur the line between mobile and desktop computing. Of course, the big unanswered question is real-world behavior. Hitting 5.5 GHz in a lab or benchmark is one thing. Sustaining it during a 30-minute gaming session or an intense AI task is an entirely different story. Still, even short-lived boosts at those frequencies could translate into snappier performance, faster on-device AI, and headline-grabbing benchmark numbers that manufacturers will absolutely love to advertise. So, if these rumors hold true, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro won't just be another incremental upgrade. It could be the moment mobile chips officially step into desktop-class clock speed territory, at least on paper. And once that door opens, there's no closing it. The real question isn't whether phones can hit 5 GHz anymore. It's how far beyond that Qualcomm is willing to push. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome tech content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.